Welcome back to the social science class. Dear students, today we are going to discuss the third chapter of history, the impact of British rule in India. In this chapter, we will learn following points. They are the administrative and judicial system and modern education. Dear students, as you know that at the beginning the British came to India for trade. Later on they come to know the weakness of Indian rulers and they implemented divide and rule policy among the Indian rulers and slowly dominated all the rulers and subjugated them. In order achieve complete domination in India, they employed war and negotiation methods cleverly. You know that at beginning British East India Company got the permission to carry the trade over India. When they came to India, they come to know the weakness of the Indian kings. Among the Indian kings, fighting were going on for the province, for the power. So British came to know that there is no unity among the Indian kings. For that reason, British planned to capture whole part of India and they implemented divide and rule policy to annex Indian kingdoms, even though they also employed war and negotiation policies to capture whole part of India. You know that before capturing whole part of India, India was divided of one nation concept and it was scattered into various kingdoms. You can see in India numbers of kingdoms were there. Among the kingdoms or among the kings there were no unity and there were no loyalty towards the country. All the kings used to think about their particular kingdom. But when British came to India and after capturing whole part of India, British brought one nation concept to control and for the administrative purpose. The British integrate the whole of India under one administrative and political structure. In that they also brought various activities or various systems like education, judiciary, land taxes, trade and agriculture and many more. And these are the activities were regulated under various laws and administrative system. Now we are going to discuss administrative and judicial system. Let me discuss about the civil service. You know that now if you wanted to do civil service or you wanted to do social work or any kind of the work, means we have to pass some of the competitive exams, then we can become a IAS or IPS officers and all. But here we are going to discuss about the civil service examination or civil service system during the time of British rule, how it brought changes in India. The system of appointing employees for the purpose of trade was done by the East India Company from the beginning. Means the East India Company has the full right to appoint the workers under their control for the administrative purpose. These employers made money, became corrupt through illegal means. those who are appointed by the East India Company, these officers earned huge profit through illegal means. For them controlling purpose, the government of England brought an act. That act is called as Regulating Act of 1773. At beginning, civil service examination was started by Lord Cornwallis in India. You know that in 1800 CE, Lord Cornwallis opened Port William College in Calcutta for the benefits of people those are having interest to join civil service examination or civil services. But this initiation did not find support from the directors of the East India Company. Why? Because the directors were appointing employers according to their wish or according to the recommendation. As a result, all the appointments till 1853 were done by the directors only. Means from 1800 to 1853, all the appointments were done through the directors. That time they were not given importance for the civil service examination. But from 1853 onwards, the appointments for civil services were done through competitive exams like IAS, IPS and all. Means after 1853, that competitive exams got more popular in India because of strict rules of the government of England. This did not benefit Indians much. Whatever the changes they brought, whatever the exams they were conducted in India, these are the exams or these are the policies were not supported to the Indians. The British continued to suspect the efficiency of the Indians. What are the changes brought by the British in India? It was not applicable to Indians only because Britishers were not having trust on the Indians, especially Lord Cornwallis also. According to the Lord Cornwallis, all the natives of Hindustan are totally corrupt. He believed that the people of India are totally corrupt, they are not equal to the British. For that reason, almost all the directors and officers who came from England, who came from Europe, they were not having trust on the Indians and they were not believing on the Indians. Let me discuss now the judicial system. You know that judicial system was very weak before arriving of the British to India. The British brought about a great impact on the judiciary in India. Earlier, there was much confusion. As Macaulay described, there existed in 1833 the Hindu law, the Mohammedan law, Parsi law and English law perpetually mingling with each other and disturbing each other, varying with the person, varying with the place. So, according to Macaulay, is describing that that time law was there according to the person, according to the place, and they were giving importance for the power and all. But after the Battle of Buxar, dual administration came into effect in Bengal region. Under this, civil and judiciary were given to the Indian officials. You know that in 1765, Robert Clive introduced dual government. In the dual government, land tax collection rights was there for the British and administrating rights was there to the Nawabs. So, we can see two governments were there in Bengal. Later on, the British thought of bringing more centralized judicial system in India. With the implementation of this system, the British overtook the authority of the Mughal and established their supremacy in India. At beginning, they brought dual government. Later on, they thought of bringing more centralized judicial system in India. For that reason, they cancelled all the power to the Nawabs or Mughals, and they established their supremacy in India. In 1772, two types of courts were established by Warren Hastings, then the Governor General of India, in each district, that is Diwani Adalat Court and Faujdari Adalat Court. Diwani Adalat Court is also known as Civil Court, and the Faujdari Adalat Court also known as Criminal Court. In both courts, Indian judges were appointed to dispense the justice according to the Hindu script and according to the Muslim Shariat. So, suppose Hindus used to do mistake, that time Hindu priest or Pandit used to dispense the justice according to Hindu script. If Muslims used to do mistake according to Muslim Shariat, they used to dispense the justice. Means in both of the court, Hindus judges also were there and Muslim judges also were there. But slowly, the British legal procedures were introduced in the criminal courts. At beginning, justice used to dispense according to Hindu culture and Islam culture. Later on, British legal procedure became very strong. Means they introduced their legal procedure in the criminal courts. And civil courts came under the administration of European officers. Even though civil court also came under the European officers. Whenever Indian judges were there, either Hindu or Muslim, these judges only can give the punishment for the Indians, but they were not having rights to give the punishment for the any one of the British or European officers if they did mistake also. Let me discuss now the police system. In India, police system was very weak. That police system became very strong just because of Lord Cornwallis. Lord Cornwallis implemented the efficient police system in India. How means? At beginning, he introduced superintendent of police post in the police department. Before implementing this post or before introducing this post, only two posts were there in the police department. One is Kotwal and one more is Chowkidar. Kotwal is the head of the city and he has to maintain the records of the culprits or criminals or robberies, even though Chowkidar was the head of the village. So he has to maintain the discipline in the villages. But when Lord Cornwallis introduced systematic police department, he created number of police stations in each one of the district. Along with that, he was appointed superintendent of police in the district. So like this, police system was developed in India. But the thing is, Indians were not having higher post in the police department because Lord Cornwallis were not having trust on the Indians. And later on, magistrate post was created. Why? Because in 1770, one big drought came to North India. During that time, Indian police were unable to control the situation, even though Britishers also. For that reason, British government created new post in the police department or in the administrative department, that is magistrate post. So one of the magistrate was appointed to look after the police department. Now police officers were under the power of the magistrate. In 1861, the police law was implemented, but unfortunately Indians were not appointed for the post of officers. And in 1902, the Police Commission law allowed the appointment of suitable educational qualification for the post of the police officers. But in spite of all these measures, the discrimination against the Indians did not end. British brought number of changes in the police department. They brought many acts, they brought many laws and all. But Britishers were showing discrimination against Indians. It was not ended at all. Now we are going to discuss about the military system. In military system or in military also discrimination was going on against the Indians. Britishers were appointed Indians in the military only for the Jawan, means common soldier post, and Indians only used to get higher post, means Subedar post. They could be promoted up to Subedar post, and above post only related to the Europeans or Britishers. And in the matter of salary also, British used to get handsome salary compared to the Indian soldiers, and number of Indian soldiers were known as the coolie workers under the British military. They were not getting any facilities like British or Europeans, and they were not having any kind of the support from the British. If they did work, they will get salary. If they not did work, they won't get salary. It is like a coolie work for the Indian soldiers. Later on, due to the military problem, the war was happened in 1857. That war is called as the First War of Indian Independence. Because of that war, British government cancelled the license of East India Company, and they brought whole part of India under their control. During that time, one of the British officer given recommendation to change the military system in India. The person name is called as Peel. He recommended to the British government. On the basis of his recommendation, British government redesigned the Indian army or military in India, or British army in India. After that, Indians were getting promotion also and handsome salary also. The last topic of this chapter is the modern education system. One of the greatest contribution of the British rule in India was the introduction of the Western education in the country. No doubt, India possessed a long tradition of learning and education, and there were large number of schools, both Hindu and Muslim, in the country. But these schools were mainly in private hands and were run by the priestly classes according to their religion and tradition. The educational system was not progressive at all. With the assumption of political power, the company adopted a definite policy on education. Apart from encouraging and supporting the existing Hindu and Muslim educational institutions, British established certain educational institutions of higher learning. During that time, British argued that to the introduction of the English language, much that was good in English literature could be made available to the Indian public. The responsibility for the education in India was formally accepted by the company under the Charter Act of 1813, which provided a sum of rupees 1 lakh for the spread of education in India. Even though the British decided to spend the money set apart for education in the Charter Act on Oriental learning exclusively, but the board of directors could not ignore the necessity of imparting English education, even though Macaulay also favored the English as a medium of instruction. When British started modern education or Western education in India, it became very famous How means at beginning English education was there only for the British officer children who were living in India, but because of Warren Hastings, he facilitated the expansion of the modern education in India. How means in 1781 he started Calcutta Madrasa, and in 1792 one of the British individual Jonathan Duncan also started Sanskrit College in Banaras. Later the period, English education got more support when William Bentinck came to India as the Governor General of India in 1828, even though he also appointed Macaulay as the chairperson of the Committee on Education. Macaulay, he has submitted his report on education in 1835. His report is also known as the Macaulay Minute or Macaulay Report, became the base of the modern education in India. In his policy, he aimed at the creation of new class of Indians who are Indian by body but British in intelligence, opinion and taste. According to Macaulay, he believed that we should provide English education. Why? Because we have to change the Indians, the taste, in the intelligence, in the opinion. But let it be Indian should be there in color or body like Indians only. Later on, when Lord Dalhousie came to India as the Governor General of India, he set up universities in Calcutta, Bombay and Madras as per the suggestion of Charles Wood Commission in 1854. The Charles Wood, who submitted or who dispatched this report in 1854 from England to India, on the basis of his report or on the basis of his commission in India, 3 universities were set up at beginning in Calcutta, Bombay and in Madras. After this, the education started becoming universalized in India. On the basis of Charles Wood report, in India colleges were started, training centers were started, and these training centers, colleges became very popular and education became universalized in India. That is why Charles Wood is known as, or Charles Wood Commission is known as the Magna Carta of English education in India, and Macaulay is known as the father of English education in India. Let me discuss the impact of British education in India. So, what are the changes came after the implementation of or after the introduction of the English education in India? We can see many changes occurred in India, or many impact we can see in India because of English education. They are: Indians could develop modernity, secularism, democratic attitudes and rationality along with nationalistic ideals. So until then, Indians were not having the importance of the English education. They were not having the respect or loyalty towards country and all. But when Indians or whoever it is, they got English education, they slowly came to know that importance of the modernity, secularism, democratic attitudes and rationality, means the way of thinking, everything they come to know because of the English education. That is the main part of the English education or impact of the English education. Second one, impetus was received for the local literature and languages. This facilitated unity in thinking processes among the educated class. Impetus means encourage or support or help received for the local literature along with the English education, even though for languages also. Due to this, the way of thinking was changed among the educated class. And the third one is periodicals started emerging. These scrutinized the policies and working of the government which in turn enabled the Indians to have critical opinions on various issues. So due to the English education or due to modern education, number of changes came. In India, newspapers were started. In that newspaper, Indians were started to ask or verifying the policies and new laws which was implemented by the British. So these are the thinking system or changes we can see because of the English education. And the fourth one is new social and religious reformation movement emerged. In India, because of English education, for example, Rajaram Mohan Rai, you can take Swami Vivekananda, you can take Mahatma Gandhi, you can take many social reformer, they supported English education even though Indian culture also. And they opposed some of the evil culture, for example, sati system, child marriage, these are the system was opposed by Rajaram Mohan Rai. So, due to the English education in society, new social and religious reformation movement was started who got English education. Apart from this, you can see the thoughts of thinkers like J.S. Mill, Rousseau and Montesquieu brought fresh thinking in the mind of educated youth of India. The foreign authors or foreign philosophers like J.S. Mill, Rousseau and Montesquieu, they have written many books. In their books, they given importance for the democracy and all. So due to this, the Indians also come to know the importance of the democracy. They also come to know the independence of the country and all. And those books or those thinkers influence on the Indian youths. The sixth one is the freedom struggle that were taking place across the globe influenced the Indians also. So, what are the freedom movement was going on in other country? So, these are the freedom movement news, notification, whatever things were came to know by the Indians through newspaper, and they also came to know the importance of the country's independence. For that reason, slowly in India, freedom struggle was started. And the last one is Indians could understand and appreciate their rich tradition. Because of English education, Indians could appreciate and understand the rich culture of India, and they also delivered, especially Swami Vivekananda, when he went to Chicago, he given his speech to the people who gathered there, and he was highlight the rich culture of India. So, because of English education, other countries' people or in the world also, they come to know the rich culture of India. So, these are the main impacts or effects of the English education in India.